Man,
Welcome.
man.
Look at that high production value we have going on
It's all about
in
high
the
production.
Lavender Podcast Studios.
You know, my theory with the high production is it actually it makes up for the inadequacies. I mean, for me as an artist and a musician and blah blah blah, I like the high production because I'm not that great of a musician, and nor am I that great of a singer. And so when you have all the bells and whistles, man, it really puts you over the top, right? So I'm sharing this, by the way. Can I do
Are
that?
you sharing it on your page? I haven't even looked to see if it's sharing on my page. Maybe I should do the same thing while we're discussing things. How are you, Mr. Shapiro?
I'm fantastic. The only problem I have with this is we started this last week, right? It was fun with you last week. Is we used to talk regularly more often, and I think that since we went ahead and pulled the trigger on this, we're not talking as much. Good thing, bad thing.
I actually prefer it because listen, let's be honest. Like a lot of our conversations aren't full of substance. It's a lot of times me listening to you, talk about yourself. And in all honesty, I love hearing about you because you're a dear
You're
friend.
mean, man. You're mean.
Am I being mean? Is it time for me to put Kevin as being a bit of a dick up on the screen?
Yeah, you got that cue. You got that little card set up.
I don't have that one queued for whatever. No, but you're right. We kind of have been saving some of these conversations for these moments, right?
You feel like that too? Like we start talking, we're like, well, let's save that.
Yeah, you're pumping the brakes quite a bit.
I'm having a little difficulty here. I don't see it on my page. I'm gonna share it again.
Go to my page and share it to you.
Right? See, I'm in.
Hi to our viewer.
Our viewer, singular. Oh, so
hello to our viewer. It's my wife and your wife are watching right now. We have two viewers on right at this very moment.
Aaron and Jolie. Jolie's on there too. She's working, I thought.
I can't see who's on. I don't think doesn't show me.
You created an invite page. Oh, okay. We're gonna waste a couple of minutes here. I want to be totally present with you. So I can
wrap up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. So select all. I'm just going to do that and see what happens.
Thank you for tuning into.
Are we using appropriate music? Because we did get flagged. Did you know that?
We got flagged. Russia wouldn't play it because we used Van McCoy's "The Hustle" last week in our wrap-up music, and we did get a notification that in fact some music prevented it from playing in certain areas.
Our stuff, yeah, because it was just a little clip that you used, right? By the way, I love that because as an artist who has copyrighted material or copywritten material, and also it's protecting us. I mean, I don't know what your checks are like, but mine are down to like 42 cents now on the streaming stuff. So, I don't know. As frustrating as it might be because they're using AI to do that and algorithms to do that, it false flags some stuff, right? But we did accidentally use a piece of music that we don't have the copyrights for, and it is what it is. I mean, that's life goes on. We've changed.
What it is.
I still can't figure out.
We promised people last week that we were going to start painting. I have my canvas and my paint set up right over here to my left. Do we have any? We have something that we're gonna. What was that smile for?
Requests? You're gonna ask for requests on what to paint?
Yeah, I thought we would maybe put it out into the world and see if somebody wanted to make a comment. We do have one comment already coming into the stream.
To turn it off.
Sandy Tannenbaum Stride said, "After you share it to your page, you may need to refresh your Facebook page."
Oh, okay. Sandy is a veteran pro. I had the honor of being on her podcast with her and her hubby. It's been a little while, for many miles away. The project I did with Miles Sean, and
apparently she's our new IT person as well, right?
She's our new IT. Sandy, congratulations! You are hired. Yeah.
Thank you.
What about our inspiration for the show? You got that. So maybe we can talk a little bit about our good friend. Our dear friend, rest in peace. It was definitely the foundational moment for us in wanting to do this.
Yep.
That's your cue, Kevin.
That's our cue. Who's our? You got to name him by name.
I'm not going to name him yet so people can see it. That is not the guy. Okay. Wow.
That's not the inspiration for the show today. I'm sorry. It's the one
and
only Mr.
Hey, Mr. Bob Ross. Yeah.
Painting with Michael and Kevin.
We both admire him, and I think that that's our main inspiration. He was so kind and sweet. Did you see the movie?
I didn't. We talked about this last week. Do you forget?
Hey, remember, I'm a little tuned out, man. Did we talk about that We talked about Bob Ross already?
You asked me last week if I saw Owen Wilson portray Bob Ross in film, and I told you that I didn't. I haven't seen that one. I don't.
What's your name again?
Wow, Owen Wilson. What?
I can't do the Facebook and talk at the same time.
I'm clear. Why don't you just go to my page and share it and it'd be done?
I wanted to share it from the little Lavender page. This is ridiculous. This is so unprofessional. You know what, man? I got to tell you right now.
Let's here. I'm putting up a ticker. Before we get started on some of the things that we are here to talk about today, and believe me, we have quite a bevy of items on a Google document that we're talking about today. Let's take a couple questions. Does anybody have any questions from the last podcast, from the first podcast? Did we leave you with any unanswered questions? Were there any topics that we touched on that you want to hear more of? Please type it in the comment section below. We'll get notified. Just like Lynette Miller just said, "Hey, Michael." Well, you know what, Lynette? I'm here too. Yeah, so enough of this bullshit. You can say hi to Kevin too.
Hey, you be nice to Lynette. She's my friend.
I don't know who she is, but she can say hi to me too.
Lynette, please say hi to him. He's very sensitive.
Thank you.
By the way, Sandy, I did refresh my page and it did work, so thank you for that IT advice. Kevin, could you put that picture of Bob Ross up again for me?
I would love to.
I just noticed something.
Sorry, wrong picture.
Okay, so you resemble him significantly. I mean, minus the hair, but if you put his hair on your head, I think you've got a resemblance there. What do you think?
First of all, my Photoshop skills are pretty beastie, and I'm gonna for next week. I'm gonna put my face on that Bob Ross picture.
I love it.
And we can do a side by side, and in fact, see if that does work. So Lori Almany says, "Hey guys." Billy Long says, "Hey guys." LMAO. Elizabeth Diaga is back with us. Oh my God, I'm catching this again tonight. Hi guys. Aaron Suker says no. That's my wife. I'm thinking she's disagreeing with you wholeheartedly about
the hair.
That. Lynette says Michael is the best. Hi, Kevin.
There you go. See, we guilted her into it. A sense of guilt. So I got the hair going. I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow. By the way, I don't know what I'm going to do.
You do it. Listen, I'm the type of friend that you roll out of bed and you talk to in the morning. I'm going to snap a screenshot just because there are very few people that look as good as you do, Michael, right out of bed. I got to be honest.
That's a really weird compliment because you just showed that picture.
It's a nice compliment, right? I'm paying you some mind. You kind of roll out of bed looking kind of all right. Not saying I've been there to see you, but over the computer. See, Lori Almany says you don't look like Bob. That was a joke too. Looking good, Michael. Kevin, you rock too. There you go. See, people agree with me. You're looking good.
So let's bring up something. So I had an appointment this morning. Let's do something first. Let's do this the right way. Let's start with a positive. So you just got back from Mesquite with your show, The Docksiders. The whole crew came out. You flew in your front of house guy from back east. Was back east, or where's he from?
Virginia. Yeah.
Virginia. So important show, beautiful showroom out there. How was your experience?
It was good. Let's talk about your colonoscopy prep.
I wanted to start with the positive of the show. We'll go to the colonoscopy.
No, the show was great. We had a packed showroom. It was our first time there. What a charming property, right? Like, it was my first time in Mesquite. Now, I've driven by that property probably 3 or 4 times since we moved here in the last couple of years. A couple of times we played in the Salt Lake City area, and I drove through. Another time I decided to drive back from Denver when we played in Denver. I didn't
Why
see much of this part of the country by
why do you
car,
why
right?
did you
Like
drive back? Why'd you drive back from Denver when it's such a
because
good flight?
listen, would you let's talk about me now, okay?
I'm
What we're
asking you
talking
a
about
question.
is yeah, I'm going to tell you
It's a
why I drove
question
back.
about you, and that's why did you elect to drive? Stop doing that, man.
Let me
Okay,
talk.
okay, but answer that question. I mean, does anybody want to know why Kevin drove back from Denver and why his transportation of choice is driving, much like John Madden? Go ahead.
No, I've never driven this part of the country before, and it's
Hmm.
absolutely beautiful. I wanted to experience the drive from Denver to Las Vegas. It was about 10 hours. I liked it. I did it. It was wonderful. Those Rocky Mountains are a bitch. I hate flying.
There we go.
I hate
That's
it.
there it
I
is.
hate it. I'm a million miler. I have traveled the world multiple times in my career. I've been very. See, Elizabeth is saying, let the guy talk already. See, Michael, she knows you well.
Elizabeth, wait till you're on the show. I'm not going to let you say a word.
That's what's up. So yeah, I don't like flying. I'm a I fly because I have to, and in times when I don't have to, sometimes I choose to just rent a vehicle and drive myself back. And sometimes my wife will drive with me. Sometimes one of the guys will drive with me, and other times I love driving because I can talk on the phone. I can get some work done. I can sleep.
It's a
Um,
beautiful way to see the country, and we've had the luxury of doing that with and people who have toured doing music. It is really something romantic about it, and with especially like lately with the flying. I mean, there is a fear of the flying. I think you get anxiety. You've shared with me. I, I enjoy that when the turbulence. I get off on that, but for most people, and when you look at the news with wheels coming off and doors coming off and nosedives and everything, yeah, but
I've also been in flight situations because of how much I have traveled in my career over the last 20 years. I have been in situations that a lot of people probably have not experienced on a plane, and it really kind of when you kind of are forced to go through that sort of stuff, it made me say I'm going to make choices for my own comfort at some point in time, and I do that. Like if there's bad weather in a city that I'm departing from or I'm leaving from, I will move my flight. I'm not like that. I'll sit. I'd rather not sit through it. I'll wait till the weather passes and I'll go.
I'll rent a car. I'll rent a car and I'll drive 17 hours.
Lynette just said my son just bought his first home in Brighton, Colorado.
Hmm.
Driving Vegas, that 180-mile Utah drive makes me crazy. Lynette, I got to agree with you. There's that stretch in Utah that if you have to pee, you're standing out in front of every car that's driving by because there's nowhere else to go. It's
Uh,
the truth, right? And my wife said, I support him wholeheartedly. Spoken like in a wonderful spouse. Thank you, my dear.
is she your attorney in this situation? You feel like you need some backup on
She
this?
no, she's sitting in the other room watching us. She didn't want to sit in here and listen to this whole thing. So I
Right.
appreciate that. And
Right.
Elizabeth Diaga says, "I dare you, Michael Shapiro. Just you try to stop her from talking."
I
I
won't. I
dare.
won't do that, Elizabeth. You know that for sure. Very excited about her joining Reckless in Vegas on June 22nd, and she's in town for another show she's doing at Composer Room. So that week, I think it's within that week. So I think we talked about that last week too. So Elizabeth, I will give you the floor when you have a microphone in your hand. You have the floor. As of now, Kevin Suker has the floor, and I will
Okay,
shut
now what I'm going to do is we're going to pivot. You're going to have the colonoscopy, right? Have you had one before?
up. Nice pivot. One of the things about the flying is that I wanted you to say that I don't like flying and what that reason was for you and if it's a fear or what that might be. The thing is this is a show about transparency. This is a show about authenticity, and as men we're supposed to have it all together. But some people are afraid to fly and not whatever. And for me, colonoscopy, yeah, it's my first, and I've had some fear around it, and I did Paige Trafella, who a lot of people know. She's got a great story. I left a voicemail on her. I was supposed to do a Monday's Dark, which is an event that's held every other week here in Las Vegas, and I was supposed to be on it, and I ended up canceling on it because I had a colonoscopy. I wasn't able to do it. Well, it didn't
Is
happen.
that a prerequisite to do Monday's Dark? You have had a colonoscopy?
It's also a great reason to get out of something because nobody's going to make up that they're having a colonoscopy. But long story short, I didn't do it. My insurance, it got written wrong, and they were going to charge me a few $1,000s to do it. I'm not going to pay $3,000 to have a camera put up my butt, you know. So I backed out of it, and now I've circled back now, maybe a year and a half later, and now I'm scheduled to do it. The pre-exam was easy. I like the doctor, but it is kind of scary, and I don't know if it's the going under part, or if it's the camera up the tookish, or both. But it's something that's really important. You're seeing a lot of people that are preventative, that they're saving lives by being on top of that. And as men in our 50s, I think it's really important, as other things too, like if something on our skin, right? We're in Las Vegas, melanoma, the sun is brutal here, and then all over the world we have these issues, and we avoidance, right? You just had your skin checked, right? And you're having something. You have
Right,
a little.
I'm actually going in on the 24th to have something taken off on my back because, as a fair-skinned ginger, the sun is my kryptonite. The sun is not my friend, and back 53 years ago, sunscreen wasn't what it is today, and God bless my mother and father. They tried to keep me out of the sun, but inevitably, I had some blistering and this is hard to protect too. I've always got to wear a hat in the summer, and
And you're
in
good
Vegas
about
almost all the time because
it. You're good
my
about it. On our walks, you come complete. You got long sleeve on, you got the hat on, but neck's exposed. So there's some issues. Speaking of your parents, they were just in town, right? Margot and Mike.
Yeah, they were here. They
Yeah,
just
how
left.
was that
I dropped them at the airport at 5:30 this morning.
today? Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty early.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Lynette says,
I got to tell you a quick little story. So a dear friend of mine, and it'll go nameless. It's a colonoscopy story.
okay, moving on to the next subject. We're going to move on. We got a lot to cover today. Thank you, Kevin.
Very well-known musician in my hometown of Milwaukee.
Names?
Didn't have insurance. Went in for his first colonoscopy, and he decided to do it without going under because it was going to be too expensive for the anesthesia bill or whatever they do. I don't think they fully put you under. They put you in twilight, basically.
They do the Michael Jackson drug.
Anyway, they walked in, and the nurse was like, "Hey, I know you." And he said it was the worst experience of his life because he's very well known. And they shoved 7.5 feet of tubing up his rectum. And he said it was very uncomfortable. It was horrible. You are going to be like laying on a cloud, thinking about sugar plum fairies and, your show coming up at Notoriety.
Dorothy Cody Dottie, if people know her as Dottie.
What could be better while someone is tickling your rectum?
She says she's had two of them. First one scared to death. Second one not too much. Lynette, yeah, no, it's not an issue at all. I did have another doctor appointment where the guy said the next thing to do is to put a camera down my cock, right? And he's like, well, it's a little uncomfortable, but
is that a clinical term?
He said penis, and I think we talked about this last week. I think too. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Hey, we're talking about
a little lavender. So I'm not doing that because what is the outcome of that? I mean, so my pee stream has lessened a little bit. No big deal. I'll deal with it. I don't want to do the camera. A friend of mine told me it was like the lady said, oh, it's not going to be a big deal, a little uncomfortable. And it was the most painful thing ever. And to get this thing out of me. And then he looked at her and said, you lied to me. And she goes, well, what was I going to do? Tell you that it's going to be the most painful thing ever? So don't do it without sedation. Oh, you can show it on the screen. Look at you, Mr. Producer, Engineer. Amazing. It was over when I asked how long. Wow. So it's that quick. Okay. Thanks, Lynette. You're making me feel better. Down your C. Wait, you can't say cock, Lynette? Come on. It's 2024, right? I mean, doesn't penis sound small though? Your penis.
Didn't know you needed to put a camera down your rooster.
Rooster. That's good. That's good. So Margot and Mike, Kevin's parents were here. Are they in Milwaukee? Where are they in? Is it Milwaukee?
They're still in the house that I grew up in. They bought it in 1974, and they are still living in Mequon, Wisconsin, which is about 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. And They were here. They came in because they wanted to go to the Mesquite show, so they came up to the show to see.
Hey, how was the cigarette smoke out there? Was it cigarette smokes and smoke in the rooms?
Listen, I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, but this weekend I smoked a carton and a half without even having to put it on my lips. It was wonderful, right? Like it's an experience to be had, nonetheless.
So they enjoyed the show. You had your parents there. Your son came as well. Did he get to go to the show?
Max got on stage like he always does, and he performed with us, which is wonderful. He sang and danced. We go for the big, cheap claps and applause. We put a 9-year-old.
He's going to take your job. He really is.
I like it. He can have my.
It'll be a good handoff. Hey, Shappy,
He can have my job.
Shappy right here. Can you get on camera, buddy? Hey.
You want to see Sophie? Sophie's here. Can you hear her? She's whining.
I can hear her whining. Yeah.
Here's Sophie.
Up, good to see you,
Look
buddy.
at that. She's got her diaper on.
Truck free.
Sophie's in her diaper. Because she's old now and she decides to lay her. Hey, Shep, you see what you got to look forward to, buddy?
He's not that interested. Yeah.
That's okay. Sophie just made the reel, right?
So we're gonna paint, right? But I before we do,
I already started. I started my painting right here.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Oh, I thought we're doing it together, man.
I started earlier today. I wanted to at least get like a rough outline of what I was going to be doing, because I figured, maybe somebody would make a suggestion about what we should paint, but nobody's suggested anything for us to paint in the comment section, right?
It's kind of weird. I don't think anybody wants to actually see us paint. By the way,
hold on. You got a show coming up.
Before we go there,
No, what is your show coming up?
It's coming up.
What's the date?
It's March 23rd. Is that right? That sounds right. At Notoriety downtown, acoustic versions. Our original rock show, we're doing acoustic versions. We have a very, very special guest. The beautiful, talented Kelly Vaughn will be there with us. And also, there's a little rumor about, I don't know if everybody knows Jalen and Patrick. They have Violution. We're going to try to get her to come up and do some electric violin on Luck Be a Lady. And I wasn't going to do Luck Be a Lady in the show, but I think we want to try to do it with the violin. So
I love Jalen and Patrick. They are cool people.
Amazing people, amazing talent. And so that's coming up. That's a Saturday night. We got to sell some tickets. So anybody
Where can they go to get tickets?
What's that?
Where can they go to get tickets?
You're really good at this. RecklessInVegas.com, or go right to Notoriety Live. It's downtown. Go to their website and you can buy tickets there. And they also have a bunch of other shows that are there. Some amazing, amazing shows too as well. Now, moving on from these shameless self-promotion.
Yes.
So what's next for you guys in the Docksiders?
We are playing in San Diego on April 13th. We've got a little bit of time. In the meantime, I am in the lab working on our new show that we are getting ready to announce very soon.
When?
Very soon.
When are you going to announce it? Like, do you have the date?
Very soon.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll go with that. Very soon.
Yeah, very soon we're going to be announcing. I would guess that everybody who's interested will know by next week.
Yeah. Next week, everybody, we're going to hear about the Docksiders somewhere in Las Vegas. I do know this. I know it's on the Strip. I don't know where on the Strip, and it's long. It's from Stratosphere down to South Point.
I can say it's in between the Strat and Mandalay.
Yeah, that's like a 5-mile stretch, so that's good. There's 80 hotels on that, so that's fantastic. Thank you for the information. Remember, you heard it first on A Little Lavender. You're not going to hear this information anywhere else. Always tune in for the latest, and I'll get a latest for you. Mr. Neil Portnoy's birthday was yesterday, right? Yeah. And also Jack Roth. Jack Roth as well, drummer from Reckless and dear friend of me. But let's go back to Neil.
Hold on. Jack Roth is a dear friend of me, too. He's my new drummer.
No. Neil draws amazing. Do you have a caricature there by any chance? Do you have your caricature?
I do. It's actually on the wall. The original that Neil did of me.
Can you show it?
I don't know if I can. Will the camera?
Look at this camera. Look at his fancy camera. It moves by putting his hand up. Keep going. Keep going. Stand. Stand. There it is. Oh, that's yeah.
There's my original Portnoy. He gave it to me as a gift, which I thought was very, very kind. And it's in a really nice place that I can admire myself. So when I walk out of my studio.
So he always does these amazing characters of all the people in Las Vegas, and on people's birthdays, he does a wonderful thing, and he puts it up. He displays it and says, "Hey, if you see this guy, wish him a happy birthday. This gal, whatever." And so it's his own birthday, and he's got one of himself, which I almost feel like not bad about, but like we should have been the ones displaying that. Or we should have painted for him, Kevin. We're talking about painting, right? I know it's only the second episode, but we're going to paint on every episode at some point, right?
I'm painting now. You
is
started.
Is it a portrait of Neil?
Can
you make it into
we
that?
haven't decided what it's going to turn into yet. Yeah, it's
okay.
It's a little
suggestion. Nobody online has given us suggestions, so
no suggestions. We still don't have suggestions for what
we should do. I love Lori right now.
So, let's move into this next topic that we have here, which is we do. Let's talk about the Grass to Rocks project.
The what?
Grass to Rocks.
Grass to rock. No, let's talk about the chickens.
Let's talk about the chickens, right?
Yeah, the chickens, man. I know you love the chickens. You love the eggs that we give you from time to time. All organic, nothing but love. We've raised them since they were little.
Lenny Shapiro, my dude, Lenny Shapiro just said Josh Jacobs going to the Packers.
Oh man, he had to bring that up.
Josh Jacobs going to the Docksiders, he said, and the Pack is still 20-1 to win the Super Bowl. Listen, Lenny, I watched a bunch of talking heads on Sports Network the other day saying the next young quarterback to win a Super Bowl is going to be Jordan Love. So I'm going to take that 20-1.
Is he?
I'm not saying it might be next year, but my Packers are coming.
Not everybody knows what you're talking about. Josh Jacobs, an incredible running back for the Raiders. He's leaving the Raiders. Yeah, and he's
26-year-old running back from the Raiders just replaced Aaron Jones, 29, who was released and signed in theory yet. I don't know if it's a done deal, a 1-year deal for $1 million more than the Packers were offering him with the Minnesota Vikings.
You know all the details, huh?
Which were a bitter rival, man. The Vikings and the Bears are like ugly.
Yeah, I resent my father for bringing that up. My dad, Lenny Shapiro, who gave for that little tidbit. Did he really put that on there?
He did.
You didn't just make that up?
He did. Here, I'm going to put it up on the screen. Look at that. Lenny Shapiro, Josh Jacobs going to the Docksiders, and the Pack is still 21 to win the Super Bowl. I love it. I'll take that. I wish it was a little more because I think it would then win more if they win the Super Bowl.
My father he can't even say Packers. Even though, when he was a kid, he grew up knowing Paul Horning, right? Because my grandfather and him got kicked out of the NFL for gambling. But like, he doesn't want to say the Packers. It's hard for, like, the next episode, maybe he'll accept the fact, he'll get into acceptance that, yeah, we lost a terrific running back, and you, my friend, your team has gained one. So
listen, I gotta give your dad a major shout out. I have a very soft, warm spot in my heart for Lenny Shapiro, and let me tell you why.
Does it have anything to do with the colonoscopy?
It doesn't. It has nothing to do. I would have said I have a soft spot in my tuchus if that was the case, but this is in my heart because we went and bought tickets to go see your Las Vegas Raiders play our Green Bay Packers this year, and it happened to be the Sunday after my wife had her appendectomy on a Wednesday. It was on a Thursday. It was the first time out of the house, and your father had an extra parking pass that allowed my car to park close so my wife didn't have to walk with her surgical stuff. That man is a saint. Lenny Shapiro is a saint.
He's better to you than he is to me.
He's a saint, Michael.
I'm happy for you. Yeah, did an extra parking pass? What do you mean? There's one parking pass, so you got.
I got the parking pass. How cool. That was amazing. Lenny, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for taking care of me and my wife. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So let's go back to the chickens. My dad, by the way,
I just got to say something. We're about 4 minutes from wrapping this up. We're at 30 minutes 34 seconds.
well, let me tell you this. My father is an incredible guy. I mean, I'm so blessed to have a relationship with my dad like that. And I hope that everybody out there has close relationships with their parents. We know that's not true, but I am super grateful. And by the way, I had to give him 500 to him to give you that pass. I just want to say that. So
That's
I hope
crazy. Thank you so much for that, Mike.
yeah, and you're welcome. So back to the chicken. So we decided on Sunday to reconfigure the chicken coop and the run, and we found underneath the board that the house is on, a little friend popped out and scared the living crap out of Jolie and I. And but we've remedied the situation. I'll leave it at there. But I went and did the eggs today and got them fresh water. It's way easier now. Now I don't know why we've been like 5 years the way it was. It's so funny how stubborn I could be. I thought about the idea, but I thought about it and thought about it. But I thought about too much work to do it. How many times in life where we have a good idea, but it's just too much work to do it, and we wait for 5 years, then we do it, like a knee replacement. How many people have you heard say, "Oh, I got to get a knee replacement," and then every time when they finally get the knee replacement, they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I waited so long." This is what the chicken coop was for me. You got one of
Did
those?
you talk? Did you talk about the rat?
I said a little friend popped out. Yeah. What about the rat? You dirty rat.
No, I was just wondering if we talked about it. Did we talk about it?
Oh, let me go over on your side and kick your ass. Hold on. There we go. Oh, hey, what's up?
No, but what a story, man! I didn't. I suppose you put the livestock out in the backyard, you're going to get some critters, right?
It's the food and the water and the warmth that's there, and so it attracts it. But he was one lonely rat. He made a little, like a really beautiful. He was taking the chicken feathers and he was making this. I don't want to humanize this because I had to end his life, and it was really hard for me. I felt terrible about
What?
doing it. He's a dirty rat. They're dirty rats. Yeah. So let's move on. We only have a couple of more minutes. We're going 35. Every week we're going to go a little bit longer and a little bit longer. Is that what's happening?
Yes, that is exactly. Oops, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Chicken killer, man. That's just the show's about compassion and empathy and love and transparency and authenticity.
I don't think anybody is going to hate you for having to end the life of our dirty rat, right? Like, our, they carry disease, right?
Yeah,
Right? They steal gigs.
yeah, yeah.
Dirty
We
rat.
know, we know a few of those guys. Dirty
You
rat.
know,
Yeah.
sometimes
Right.
they just gotta disappear.
How's the? That's pretty good. Hey, you want to do the voiceover for me? I need done. Gonna have Johnny D. Domenico help us out with that. But if he falls short, I could come
Yes,
to you to help you do it. Okay.
Johnny D on this thing, huh?
Yeah, I love Johnny D. Domenico. Not only is he a great human, but he's super talented. He does. You obviously know, but some people don't know. He does a terrific Donald Trump, which is his big hit because he's working both sides of the fence on that one. And then he does it in Austin Powers. He does other characters too. He does what's the chef's name? Guy Ferrari. Do you know what I'm talking
Fieri,
about?
Fieri. Yeah, Guy
Fieri,
Fieri.
Fieri, Guy Fieri. He does that. Fantastic. I just saw something on that. So yeah, if he falls short, would you be the backup for that? You look good today, by the way. What's going on with you?
I look good today. What is it? Why do
Yeah,
I look good today?
you look trim. You've been working out. What have you been doing?
I have. I've been living differently. I I have taken stock in my overall health, which I kind of ignored. I ignored it for a while, self-admittedly. I was eating like crap and I was eating way too much. And I'm a bit of a stress eater. I think that. Plus, I come from a good Jewish home where my
You
mother
gotta
was
eat.
always like, "Eat more, eat more,
Yeah,
eat more. If
make
you
your mind
don't,
up.
you can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery." All those things, the anxiety that's laden upon me as a child. No, she never did that. But like I significantly cut down my calorie intake and I
It's short.
significantly increased my exercise. And thanks to
It's
you,
short.
you've had me over to walk quite a bit, and we've had some good
Well, I'm
conversations.
doing
That
the
walk
opposite.
around your area is great.
I'm doing the opposite. I'm raising the caloric intake and I'm doing less exercise, and I find it's very
Hey,
comforting.
it worked for me for 30 years. You enjoy the next 30 that way. That'd be fun.
Great.
I think we got to wrap up, man.
Well, are you going to paint for us today, or should we just table that?
I'm painted. I'm going to show this next week.
Okay. Well, we need some suggestions because hey, Nikki, Brian, what's up, buddy? Oh, Mr. Green Farm. So listen, man, I want to paint with you though. I want to do overhead and paint together. So next episode, we'll get that together. We'll do some painting together. Bob Ross, baby. Bob Ross, baby. He wrote this song that's playing right now. Please follow.
That is Bob Ross, by the way. His real name is Bob Ross.
Please put Bob Ross up, please, on this outro.
Hey,
that's not Bob Ross. That's not Bob Ross.
March 26th. Look at your beautiful wife in that picture.
March 23rd, man. Come on, get it straight. Notoriety. March 23rd.
March
Saturday.
23rd, sorry. Get your tickets now. Let's all show up and show out. Let's pack that place for Michael Shapiro.
I want to thank everybody for joining us on this silly show. It's kind of a Seinfeld. We don't talk about anything. We don't mean anything. We don't know anything. But we are authentic and we are ourselves, and we want to make that a part of life. And so please like our page. You can go to YouTube. We have a YouTube page, Little Lavender.
We do have right? a YouTube page, our Facebook page. Share it to your page. Share it with some friends. Tell them to join us in this conversation. That would be a lot of fun, wouldn't it?
It would be a lot of fun. And keep buying. If you live in Las Vegas, keep buying tickets to shows here. It means the world to us. Please come out and support and enjoy yourselves, because that Kevin and I, it's our lives. It's what we do. And music is a really wonderful part of life, especially when you pay for it. There's more value in it when you pay for it. Yeah. Are we ending on that note?
Episode 3 next week.
Can you put the real Bob Ross up, please? And then we'll talk about that as well. There he is. So, episode 3 will be next week, right? Tuesday, same time, same place. Yeah?
Same time, same day, Tuesday, 3 o'clock. Lavender.
Lavender, lavender, lavender.